With us now, CNN political commentator, Democratic strategist Paul Begala, and Maura Gillespie, founder and principal of Blue Stack Strategies. And Maura, I want to put these 3 dates up on the screen so people can see them. April 9th, July 9th, and August 1st. The visual helps here. August 1st, there's one thing I know about August 1st, is that it's not July 9th or April 9th. So, what do voters think when they see this deadline continuing to move?
He's got a semblance of a plan, is what I first thought of. I think that this is going to be concerning for the president, but also mostly for the members of Congress, because August recess, they go home to their constituents and they have to explain, why his plan didn't work and why it's not working as far as this 90 deals in 90 days, and what happens if these 25%, 40% tariff increases actually take place. You mentioned the markets are, took a bit of a dip, or flat. Global markets really weren't impacted because I think that they saw that as not firm, and that there is wiggle room with the president, that he will push this off again and again. I think that this is a messaging challenge for Republicans going into August, between the mega bill, the one big beautiful bill, and then these tariffs decisions by the president. They need to explain to their constituents what the impact will be and why they're still supporting the president.
Paul, a little deep tease here. Harry Atten's going to be on a little bit, talking about how polling shows the president's tariff policy is very, very unpopular, remains unpopular, not getting more popular here. So when you look at this, what do you think the lasting impact here is? Because it's been a drag on his overall economic numbers.
Well, it has, John. It goes right to the heart of why he got elected. Immigration played a role, but it's not even close. Cost of living is what drove the Trump election. That's why he became president. His most important mission politically, I think also economically, is cut the cost of groceries, gas, and rent, right? Stuff costs too much. Tariffs are taxes that American people and American companies pay. It's a new tax. And this one now, Mara makes a good point. I'd forgotten. I used to work on the Hill a million years ago, but you're right. The August recess really matters, Mara. But so does back to school shopping, right? All the moms and dads, right when this hits in August, they're going to be going back to school, and paying more money for less stuff makes you really unpopular. Add to that this big ugly bill that's going to add $3 trillion to the rent, to the debt. That's going to increase interest rates. It's going to cost all of us a whole lot more money. And then the cuts on things like our health care, veterans assistance. So the cost of living is going to go up and up and up, which is exactly what Trump doesn't need politically. It's what America doesn't need economically. It makes no sense whatsoever. And he can try to spin his way out of it, but when you're going to the store to buy Junior a new pair of jeans for back to school, you're going to know it costs more.
I'm going to change subjects here and talk about third parties. Paul, am I right? I have this distant memory that you played Ross Perot in some debate prep for Bill Clinton, I think in '96. So you're uniquely suited to answer this question here. So Elon Musk and Andrew Yang, apparently there have been discussions between Elon Musk and Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang ran for president in the Democratic primaries, but has since been talking about forming a third party. Andrew Yang posted a tweet about some of the talks they've been having. If it breaks the duopoly, I'm all for it. So Paul, with your unique perspective on third parties, once basically playing third party, in dress up, what does it take for a third party to work in any election?
Well, work is a elastic word there, John. No third-party candidate has ever won the presidency, ever. I think the greatest politician who ever lived was Teddy Roosevelt. He'd already been president, he actually won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he was a war hero, and he tried with a third party, and all he did was elect the Democrats. He'd been a Republican, right? They never worked. Ross Perot, you're right. Ross Perot got the votes the first time he ran, 92, of 1 out of 5 Americans, 19%. Voted for Perot. He got 0 electoral votes, 0 states. So look, this thing is going to go off like one of Mr. Musk's rockets. Okay, I mean, and in this case, Perot drew equally from both parties because he was pro-choice, anti-war, pro-change. That took from Clinton, but he was also a businessman. He had sort of Republican credentials that took from Bush. So all the data are clear. Perot drew equally. I don't think Mr. Musk and maybe Mr. Yang will draw equally. I think it hurts Trump more, because Musk had really been central to the Trump project. So in that sense, I guess I hope it works out. But Elon Musk lately has not been terribly successful, if you ask me.
Maura, I want to ask you something that has happened over the last 24 hours that seems to have had some ripple effects within conservative circles. And that's the Justice Department coming out and saying, basically, Jeffrey Epstein, case closed. No evidence that it was anything but a suicide. There's no other charges coming on anyone else. No client list that they're going to release here. And there are a lot of supporters of the president who seem to believe that if he were elected, there would be some giant release here. What's the kerfuffle about, and what do you think the impact of this might be in terms of trust?
I think that the impact on trust is whether or not the MAGA holdouts who are Trump loyalists will see the light of day, that they're being played. I think that this is just another example where President Trump and, Pam Bondi and others, they can scream from the rooftops during campaign season and say all these things and talk about transparency and say, we want to lower costs, and we want to know the truth and all these things. And then when they have the opportunity, they have all the power to do so, and they still haven't done it. And so there has to be some accountability here. And I do hope that more Republicans will speak out. You saw some, who have. Tom Tillis, obviously he's not running again for re-election, but you're seeing there is dissent among Senate GOP who don't like how the president spoke about Tom Tillis, their colleague. And so there has to be some pushback, because for the Republican Party to continue to stand on its own 2 feet, they need to push back on Trump, because he will not be here forever. He's only here for a few more years, and he cannot run again. And it doesn't sound as though he's going to be out there to help them in their reelection. So they need to be out loud and calling out some of these issues. So that's my hope for the Republican Party. But on the Epstein stuff, it's just hypocrisy.
All right, Maura Gillespie, Paul Begala, great to see both of you today. Thank you very much.